going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ today. It is great to see you on this NFL Draftmas Eve. I hope you all are feeling good, doing well. I'm trying to fix my chat, and it is just funky as hell. I don't know what it's doing. Let me try this. Hold on.
What's going on, chat?
Yeah, we're very pumped up about the NFL draft. It's right now. It's right here. It's right in our faces, waiting for us. Why is this doing this? I can't get our chat. Look at this chat. Do you see this? This is out of control. Oh, yay! I fixed it. Let's go, Robbie Oak. Good to see you, man. If you guys see a lag in my chat, I do apologize. My computer is getting replaced, long story short. But anyway, super fired up to be here with you guys. Let's go, Grant Rude. He says Jets, 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 Jets.
Straight fire. Who'd you expect?
Oh, my
Who'd
God.
you expect?
Oh, my God.
You talking about practice?
Yeah. What up, J.E.? It is great to see you, dude. Good to see everybody in here. So I don't really want to waste too much time, but I'll ask you, Mike, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's like Christmas.
It is.
Christmas. I'm telling you. I've been just watching video after video on YouTube, just watching different takes on it. I find it fascinating, like Heat coming in on the quarterback class, where everyone's going. I've heard all kinds of theories, man. All kinds of theories. Trey going up possibly to the third. Mac Jones dropping to the Patriots. Everything, and it's gonna be great.
Grant Rude said, "Stop wasting your time on Mike's feelings."
Grant, you don't mean that.
Yeah, he does.
Say that.
He doesn't mean it. All right, so we're gonna just go ahead. We're gonna rip the Band-Aid off. We are doing our giveaway tonight, and this is a special shout out to the weirdo on Facebook telling me that I was a scam artist and that I was gonna steal people's. Basically, I was a thief and a fraud. This is a special shout out to you. I hope you're watching, buddy. Anyway, we are giving away the $50 gift card. I have my list of visible subscribers here. We had 138 visible subscribers. So if you don't know what that means, basically, some people like to hide their identity on YouTube, and they don't want their face all over YouTube. So, of the 138, we are going to give away that $50 gift card to the Jets shop. We're going to do it right now. I'm not going to waste any time. Let me go ahead and pull up.
Using the randomizer?
I am using a randomizer. That is correct. And you should see it now on your screen. It is just the Google randomizer. And like I said, so you'll need to email me, and I will create a video probably tomorrow or tonight reminding whoever the winner was. You're going to have about 24, 48 hours or so to get back at me. Just got to send me your email, and then I can send you the gift card because it's going to be an electronic gift card. It's not going to be sent through the actual mail. All right, 1 to 138. Everybody has a number assigned to them. So, for example, I think Grant Rude, and this was kind of funny. It made me laugh. Grant Rude's number is 66, almost the mark of the beast. So
seems appropriate for Grant.
Yeah, it does seem appropriate. So anyway, let's go ahead. Grant Rude says it is a scam. All right. No more bullshit. I'm just going to hit the button. Apparently that's going to give you the number, and then I'll tell you who won.
Let's do it.
Number 28, Curtis Martin's number.
There it is. Is that the pick?
The winner. Yeah, that's the number, 28. Oh. The winner of the gift card giveaway for NYJ today is Phil Solomon. Phil Solomon is one of our subscribers. So, Phil Solomon, you got about 24 hours to reach out to yours truly nyjtoday@gmail.com. And like I said, I will give him a day or so to get back at me. But yeah, giveaway has been done. Phil Solomon, you're the winner. Congratulations to you.
Congrats, man. If he doesn't reach out, then what? You rerun it?
Yep. So if I do not hear back from him, I will just do it on my end. I'll keep randomizing it. I still have the list here. I'll keep the list just in case. Thank you for Thank you for congratulating him, guys. So Phil Solomon, I hope to hear from you, dude. All right, that's done. Yeah, Rick B, he says, yup, scam. I knew it. We're going to go ahead and go back to what we were doing. And we're now open. The phone line is open. We'll take some phone calls. I would love to hear from some of you guys. I don't know what your number was, to be perfectly honest with you. The only one that I remembered was Grant Ruth, just because I thought of the Mark of the Beast. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why.
Who was number one? Who was number one?
Number one was, oh Lord, Melchizedek Nimrod Gaming.
I am that one.
Fire says
ring a bell.
Draft. Hey, you want to talk draft? Give me a call. I'm ready. C. Wally, what's up, dude? Welcome back to the show.
What's going on?
So, I would like to take a phone call or two before we actually get into the show.
Straight forward. Get in here.
Yeah, please give me a call. The number is at the top, guys. 347-921-1468. And like I said,
I think we should do a conference call with Straight Fire and Grant Rude and have one last Wilson versus Fields.
We're not, well, I mean, I guess we could technically do that. But we all know what's happening, what's coming.
Step into the Thunderdome, boys.
So yeah, we're hoping for a phone call. If we don't get a phone call though, we'll move right into it. Straight Fire says I'm with it. He says he's ready. No call-ins. If you want to call in while we're talking draft, you're more than welcome to do so. We're going to get into our final round one mock drafts. So Mike and I have our mock drafts already done. We're not going to spend all night talking about this because I know there's a lot of Jets fans in this chat. But I thought it would be kind of cool to just share our mock drafts. So Mikey, we're going to look at yours first.
Let's do it.
It is up on the screen.
Oh my God, look at that trash.
You have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson to the Jets. Oh, Zach Wilson. Sorry, I got twisted for a second there. I thought I read Justin Fields.
What?
Yeah, Justin Fields to the 49ers. That's what the 49ers fans all want. Give me a topic. Who are we discussing? You can discuss whatever you want, dude. This is your show and our show. We've got Kyle Pitts going to the Atlanta Falcons, Penei Sewell to the Bengals, Jamar Chase to the Dolphins, Devonta Smith to the Lions, Trey Lance to the Panthers, which I think is interesting. Are you projecting a trade back or the trade there?
Yeah, I think for sure, and it fits perfectly. I mean, they don't have to play him right away. He can sit behind Sam, or he can sit. They got other quarterbacks in the roster to rotate that. He can do exactly what everyone told him or told. They could do exactly what everyone's recommending for him, which is to have him sit, have him learn, keep his physical traits intact. Don't burn him out like an RG3. I think it makes a lot of sense with him there. I don't think the Panthers are 100% sold on their quarterbacks right now. I think they would look.
The Panthers are going to draft him. I was asking you if you were thinking they were going to trade that pick to another team.
No, I didn't play trades for this. I'm just going based off field, man. Just going based off field.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets drafted at that spot, but it would be for a team trading up, I think, into that spot.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never asked you the question, so I didn't play trades. I just went based on what we know.
That was a smart spot to put him, I think. Okay, yeah. Broncos, you've got taking Micah Parsons. Cowboys, Pat Surtain. The Giants are taking Rashawn Slater. That would be a great pick for them. Eagles taking J.C. Horn. Chargers, Christian Darrisaw. The Vikings, you have them taking Jalen Phillips, the defensive end. You have them going way high. That would be cool. Mac Jones to the Patriots. Ooh.
Yeah, I think it happens, man. I think he's the perfect fit for that team. I really do.
Yeah.
Dink and dunk kind of.
Who does he remind you? What player does he remind you of?
Who, Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, he reminds me of Bledsoe a little bit, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's interesting. Not quite as strong of an arm, but I get that. I got to shrink this font. It's out of control. Let's see here. Then you have the Cardinals taking Elijah Vera Tucker, which I think is a very good pick for them. I'm just wondering if they actually end up doing it. They should have taken offensive line last year, I feel like.
Yeah, a lot of mocks have them taking defense, but I really feel that. I mean, I was looking at the injuries they had. That line of their needs. I mean, if Kyler Murray is going to be their go-to guy, they're going to need help.
Straight Fire says Mike hit his head. Mac to the Gatriots. No way. He's 49ers bound.
No
Well,
way. No, they got to take field. Who said that? Who said
it was.
that?
He's coming at you tonight. I think he's in a mood tonight. I think.
Man, he's up. It's a Fields conversation, man. Straight fire. As soon as I said Fields, what are you talking about?
Let's get to the rest of your picks because, like I said, we don't want to spend all night on this. We just want to get just a little bit of draft talk, and then we'll get to our beloved Jets.
I do want to say give Straight Fire credit for the nickname for the Patriots, the Gatriots.
It's a fitting title. Anyway, 17th overall, you have the Raiders taking Barmore. That could be interesting. Their defense is terrible. Dolphins taking Kwity Paye. That's a good fit too. Yeah. Travis Etienne to the football team. That would be interesting. They do have Antonio Gibson already, but they could definitely use another playmaker on that offense.
Yeah.
Tevin Jenkins to the Bears. That's a lot of people are projecting that. Azeez Ojulari.
Everyone's predicting that. Everyone's predicting that. That one right there is really where, I've looked at a million mocks, probably same way you have, trying to look at different mocks, different perspectives. That was one of the few players that is in every mock to go to the Colts. Yep. It's unbelievable.
I had him falling a little bit, but not much further. Jeremiah Owusu, the linebacker to the Titans. That's a good fit. Caleb Farley. Ooh.
What?
I would like to hear from the chat on that one. What do you guys feel about this pick right here? Caleb Farley to the New York Jets at 23. So Straight Fire already came in. He says, I am not sold. His back injury scares me. There's reports he may need another back surgery or back repair soon. So that's scary. That's why I go, ooh. So Caleb Farley would be really risky. Sean Bennett says, okay, Mike's been dreaming about this mock. You guys might tear me a new one in mine, so that's okay. Najee Harris to the Steelers. That's a popular one.
That is a popular one.
Dags.
I like this next one.
Kadarius Toney. Yeah, that would be a good fit. Hometown boy. Home.
They get Trevor and Kadarius.
Yep.
I can totally see that.
What's up, Area 49ers? Welcome to the show, dude. We're glad to see you back in the channel. Mike has you guys taking Justin Fields, which I know will make you happy. You will not be happy when you see who I have you taking, though. Browns are taking Gregory Rousseau. They need a linebacker, so I don't agree with that pick. Ravens taking an edge rusher. They do need an edge rusher. Saints take a cornerback. They do need a cornerback.
Yes, they do.
David Collins. Their run defense is awful. They need a linebacker. Bills do need an edge rusher, Joseph Asai. Ravens take an offensive tackle to replace the guy they just lost. And then you have the Buccaneers taking a corner at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
C. Wally comes into the chat and he says, Farley can't catch a break. I feel bad for the dude, but I'd take him at 34 if he falls, or if JD trades back from 34, then take him. Probably not the popular opinion. We are going to get a call from Straight Fire in about 20 minutes, so that's exciting. We look forward to your call, dude. We hope to get a couple of you guys calling in tonight. That would be awesome.
So, John, before you open up to the chat, you would redo the Browns pick. Is there another the Jets pick on the 23? Is there another one that stands out to you?
No, your mock draft's pretty intact. I mean, I think that the 49ers are going to make a boneheaded decision on draft night, in my opinion. I think they should be taking Justin Fields, and I just don't see it happening for some reason. I think they're making a big mistake if they don't take Justin Fields, personally.
So I'll stimulate the conversation. I think Niners have a huge likelihood of impacting the draft in terms of people falling to positions where we never thought they would get to. The other team besides the Niners who can really mess up this draft, I think, is the Lions. The Lion pick was really hard for me in terms of because they can go anything, man. The Lions really could do anything, and you could use anything, and
They
that pick was really
quarterback.
they could take a quarterback. They can do what I said, which is take a receiver. They could take a different receiver. You know,
Yep.
like that Lions pick for me, number 7. The Niners, Lions, Panthers, and even Denver to me are those are the 3 or 4 teams that can really mess this whole draft up, depending on what those
The draft
teams do.
is going to get messed up. Let me
Yeah,
get to some comments. So Gitmo Bob, he says there's absolutely no way the Jets can take Farley or Dickerson. He's talking about Landon Dickerson, the center from Alabama. He says, or Newsome or Phillips. He says the Jets need healthy bodies. I would contest that maybe Newsome is worth the risk. His injuries were not quite as severe. I would agree with pretty much all the other dudes, though. Dickerson is one of the scariest players. I think Joe Douglas would love him because of his play on the field, but his injuries are ridiculously bad. He has got the worst. Him and Farley, I think, have the worst medicals in this draft, specifically the early pick.
I thought the one area where I thought Chad was going to tear me to pieces is, the one name you don't see on my mock is Creed. Creed is I don't have Creed in the first round right now.
Yeah, a lot of people see him falling out of the first round. I mean, I'm not one of those people. I think he's going to get snagged up at the very, very end of first round, and you'll see that in a few minutes. But yeah, it's a chance. He could definitely fall out of round 1. All right, a couple more pieces of feedback. Grant Rude says switch 2 and 3. He says 14 and 16. And he also says, I pray the Jets don't take Farley. Bucks are going to take O-line. And he says, I have no other arguments. So not bad. Let's see. Grant Rude says, I'm fine with the Browns taking a pass rusher. I still think they're going to take a linebacker. There's some really good linebackers early in this draft. I think they're going to go with a linebacker. Let's see. Hard to believe the 49ers gave up all that draft capital for Mac Jones. Well, it's not official yet, but if they did trade up.
But I agree with that. I totally agree with that. You're gonna trade all of that for Mac. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get to my mock draft. Thank you, Mike, for being a good sport. Hold on 1 second. Okay, cool. So this is my mock draft here, guys. Again, feel free to rip me a new one. I can take it. I said Trevor Lawrence, number 1, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, Kyle Pitts at 4 to the Falcons, Penei Sewell to the Bengals. I've got the Dolphins taking Jamar Chase. I've got the Lions taking Trey Lance. I think they might take him because they can sit him behind Goff. I think that's a sneaky move that the Lions might make. That's why I think a lot of teams are interested in that Dolphins pick at 6. Teams might want to trade up for Trey Lance to just have the opportunity to draft him. Then I have what?
I was just the Falcons pick. Me and you both had Kyle Pitts going there. Do you think there's a chance that they take quarterback?
No, because they have Matt Ryan. They can't get out of his contract for
future proofing.
Yeah, I think maybe next year they'll take a quarterback. They're picking 4th, so I don't think they're going to want to take the 4th best quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're getting a ridiculous.
But under your draft though, so this is why the Niners pick is so crazy, right? Because if the Niners take Mac, and I do want to hear why you think you have Mac there, but before you do that, if your draft is true and they take Mac, Fields is there. You're talking about, I mean, every source, especially in the last 24, 48 hours, coming out and saying Fields is definitely going to be a league MVP at some point in his career. You don't think Atlanta entertains the idea?
I mean, they might. I just don't. I don't see it this year for them. That's all.
Okay.
All right. So Panthers are taking Rashawn Slater. I've been getting an offensive lineman for Darnold. They have Tyler Moton already. Another bookend tackle for them would be good. They already have good weapons. They already have an awesome running back. They might go DB there, so it could go a bunch of ways for the Panthers. I do have the Broncos taking Justin Fields, and again, that could be a trade back. He might go before that, though. I'm just smelling maybe a trade back there. Maybe the Broncos take advantage of the draft kind of falling to them that way. So we'll have to wait and see. He might not. I mean, I don't think the Broncos are going to take him. I'm just kind of hoping that somebody trades up at that spot for him.
Yeah.
Cowboys take Patrick Surtain. I have the Giants taking Jalen Waddle. J.C. Horn I have going to the Eagles. Christian Darrisaw to the Chargers. Kwity Paye I have going to the Vikings. Devonta Smith I had going to the Patriots, which I think is a pretty interesting little draft pick there. They need some receivers. And then I have Greg Newsome going to the Cardinals. And then we'll wrap this up. I have the Raiders taking Vera Tucker at 17. Micah Parsons going to the Dolphins at 18. The Dolphins had an awesome draft if this happens. The football team is taking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. The Bears take Samuel Cosme. I have the Colts taking Gregory Rousseau. Rashad Bateman to the Titans. I have Tevin Jenkins falling to the Jets. He might not even fall. He might go.
I don't think he is, man.
He might
His
not
stock
even.
is rising.
Right. Travis Etienne to the Steelers. I have the Jags taking a defensive tackle, Christian Barmore. They could not stop the run last year. Zaven Collins to the Browns. The Ravens take an edge. Saints take Jalen Phillips, the defensive end. The Packers take Jamin Davis, a linebacker that a lot of people think is going to go in the first round. And he's really good against the run. The Packers sucked against the run. Bills take an edge, Jason Awa, whatever. Ravens take safety, Trayvon Moehrig, and then the Bucks finish out the first round taking Azeez Ojulari, edge rusher. All right, I want to see you guys ripping me up. So let me go back. Let's see here. So C. Wally, he says, you think they're still going to take a quarterback trading for Teddy? So to be fair, I did this mock draft. Honestly, it was like last night, and they traded for him just today. So again, I'm projecting maybe a trade there. Maybe the Broncos decide to trade back. They might not. Again, it's just kind of a hope. Because at this point, I'm not really sure where he goes. I really don't know where he's going to end up.
It's tough.
It's super hard. And maybe the Patriots, maybe they trade up with the Broncos. Maybe the Broncos don't want to go back too far, and they swap picks with the Patriots. Something like that. Okay. Let's see here. Straight Fire says... What?
No, sorry. I was going to say I want to hear your justification for Mac at 3.
Oh, we'll get to it. Straight Fire.
Right.
Chance, John, they'll trade out before they pick Lance. Sorry, my opinion, they need so many bodies, they'll make that trade. I think what he's saying is the Lions will trade out, and that could be fair. The only thing is they did get a bunch of picks from Matthew Stafford, so again, the idea here is they're taking Lance, who does need time to sit, in my opinion, just like any really should, and I think that him sitting behind Goff could be really beneficial. Just my take. I got no problem with you disagreeing with me, though. Grant Rude says, if the 49ers wanted Jones, they could have stayed at 12. I don't think the Lions go QB at 7. If Fields is there at 8, the Panthers take him. Imagine what the Jets could have been with Rule, Brady, and Fields. Yeah, Rule would have been a nice coach, but we got a better one now, I think. Isaac Benjamin, it says, the New England Patriots are currently in talks to reacquire Jimmy G. I could totally see that. By the way, Isaac,
gosh, yes.
Welcome to the channel, dude. Hope you consider subscribing. By the way, guys, the channel's blowing up. We're already almost to 550 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support. We really do appreciate it. More to come, guys. It's only going to keep going from here. Straight Fire says, I like the Waddle pick. He's so explosive. And let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I get to all the ass tearing. So, yeah, Sean Bennett, I agree. The Jets are going to probably trade up into the teens to get Tevin Jenkins. I'm still kind of hoping they do that. And I'm not even a big fan of trading up. But if we're going to trade up somebody...
You give me a new one for that opinion to trade up. And so did Chad. Chad doesn't get a pass on this either.
Not a big trade up, just a trade up to acquire him. If we can move up a few slots and get him, I'm cool with that.
You traded the 34 with it?
No, no, no. It wouldn't take that much. I think we could trade away 66, the third round pick. And then what's cool is we could trade up and then we could trade back with 34 and be able to reacquire picks too. So
Yeah.
that's my hope. I'm hoping they do that. We'll have to wait and see. Area 49ers says it's all over Twitter. The 49ers and the Patriots are apparently in talks right now, which I think is very interesting. That means that the Patriots probably tried to move up for Justin Fields, and they just figured out that the cost is just too great, and they can't afford it. Okay, let's see. Grant Root says, I really think that the Vikings and the Bucks are going to go O-line. You had mentioned the Bucks. I think the Vikings might go edge rusher. I think that's a need for them. But you could definitely make the case they could use another offensive lineman. Yeah, Aziz did go too low. Again, I feel like he's one of those tweeners. He's a guy who could play linebacker in some schemes, and I feel like he could also play defensive end. And that for that reason, I had him slipping just a little bit because he's only 240 pounds, and if he's going to be an edge, he's just a little bit undersized. So it just depends. If a team is drafting him to be a linebacker, I think he could go earlier. But yeah, a lot of people have him going earlier than me. Every year somebody falls, and I have him falling just a little bit. It might not end up happening for sure.
Now you have Najee falling because you don't have Najee in your first round, do you? I didn't see him. You have Travis.
Nope, I did not have Najee in the first round. I did have Travis Etienne in there. Najee's going to get scooped up super early in round 2, in my opinion. So let's see. Area 49ers says McCorkle can't be the pick. Yeah, that's a name apparently, or some shit like that. I didn't even know that.
So let me ask you this. So based on your mock, Najee's there at 34. You take him at 34?
I wouldn't personally, but I know a lot of Jets fans will want that for sure.
Just curious.
Yeah. I do. I do see Green Bay potentially taking Dickerson. The only thing I thought of was just their defense was so bad against the run last year, and they might be willing to get a top-notch defender to stop the run and maybe get an offensive later in the draft. There's a lot of chat. You guys are going crazy. I can't even keep up with you. All right, let's move on. We've done our mock drafts, guys. We hope you enjoyed them. We didn't want to spend all night doing that, but we did want to just kind of go over our mock drafts just for some fun. Let's go back. And we did do, we already got to this. So no call-ins yet, guys. Feel free to call in. We haven't had any call-ins tonight so far. We would love to hear from you guys, though. The Who, welcome back, dude. Good to see you.
What's going on?
Yep, this is a pretty new subscriber. He says, I'm a Jets fan, and no, I would not want a back that early. He's responding to you, Mike. He's saying no thanks to Najee. A lot of people will be clamoring for Najee. I think if 34, if he's there, just my personal taste. I'd rather wait. I'm fine with taking a running back, just not at 34. I think it's just too early.
I get it.
We did our final round 1 mock drafts. If we're not going to get any calls, we are going to do, and we've done a lot of Jets mock drafts, but we're going to do one final New York Jets 7 round. Yeah, Isaac Benjamin, thank you again for commenting, dude. He says, agreed. Take a running back in the 3rd, like Trey Sermon. I even like Kenny Gainwell. I like Chuba Hubbard a little bit later. Yep. There's a lot of good backs. I think there's some decent ones later in the draft. Yeah, C. Wally says, agreed. Terrible year for running backs. Plus, that's way too early. Yeah, I read that on Twitter. Somebody was saying this was a really bad running back class.
Dude, there's some people who have us taking Najee at 23. There's a lot of mocks that I saw. I was like, yeah, I don't think that will happen.
I don't like it. I don't like
there's
it.
Some have us taking Travis. There's a couple mocks that I saw. I think it was I can't remember the source, but there was at least 2 mocks I saw where they had us taking Travis there.
Yeah. It's not a bad thing to take a running back. I just don't think early. It's not the year, I feel like. It's just not the season to be doing it. In 22, if we show signs of life, if Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, whoever they end up taking, is like proving themselves to be okay, we've got a quarterback.
Right.
Then or go ahead and invest in running back a little earlier.
Well, especially if Tevin's there. If Tevin's there, and someone that most of the chat say, if Tevin is there at 23, it's a gift. It's a present.
Yep.
Take it, unwrap it.
And that's the other thing. If he's not there and if AVT is not there, I'm actually fine with trading back in the first round and getting more picks. I would rather not take a defensive player at 3. I would rather trade back and get more picks, and then address the defense with those mid round picks in the third round. That's just my personal twist on it. Okay.
Sean Bennett says, my kid's sister had a better mock draft than Mel Kiper.
Yeah. Michelle says no running back. See what you have first in Coleman and P. Ryan. Yeah, Coleman, I think, is just the veteran body. P. Ryan, I think, needs to get a fair shot. Ty Johnson showed some decent abilities last year, and I don't think there's any reason to rush and take a running back early. Michelle, or C. Wally is responding and says, would love Creed at 34, don't love center at 23. Yeah, Tevin will not be there. Not much of a chance of that in my eyes. You never know. I'm being very optimistic and hoping that he's there. I know that, and I acknowledge that, but I can't help myself. He would be fan-fucking-tastic for our team.
But if you got Tevin at 23 and Creed at 34, and you put him with Becton, that'd be freaking amazing.
James DiPietro, welcome back, dude. Good to see you. He says, Javian Hawkins, the running back from Louisville in the 5th round, ran behind Becton for 2 years. I am cool with that. I've heard, and that round is perfect. I think if you're getting a running back in the 5th round, just fine. Because Josh Adams probably wouldn't make the team if we draft a running back, which is fine as well. And even Coleman, he might not make the team.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah. So Gitmo says, the more mocks I look into, the more I realize that I have no idea what JD will do. And I said that in a tweet actually earlier in the week. I said the more we go here, the more I learn about the the NFL draft and the players that are in the draft, the less comfortable I feel I think is actually going to happen. I have no clue what's going to happen.
They stick to the game plan. They're not doing. I don't think they're doing this. They know exactly what their boundaries are. I don't think they're running mocks like we are, nor would they, I guess.
Well, they do. Actually, that's not true. The teams do mock drafts so that they can go through situations and scenarios so that if something insane happens and like some player that they don't ever expect to fall just happens to be there, they have a plan in place.
I just would be curious how they plan around the trades.
This is what I feel like our chat. I feel like if I could say anything about our chat, you guys are so active always. I would love more questions so that we can use those as as a way to just continue the conversation. We have 2 in a row, which is fantastic. So Isaac Benjamin, he says, how do you feel about Algiers in the later round as a running back option? I'll be perfectly honest with you, dude. I'm gonna have to read up on him because I don't know who he is. I have not studied the entire NFL draft that well. Having said that, though, I will quickly pull up. Mike, why don't you go ahead and read off this next question? Vern says, I really want Collins at 23. He's talking about Zaven Collins. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
I love him as a player. Probably, I think some are saying, top 4, top 3 linebacker talent in the draft. I don't know how I feel about taking linebacker at 23, though. I got to be quite honest. I'm not saying I'm not worried about our linebacker crew. I do think that it's one of our weaker areas of our defense, especially depending on what we take. If anyone was here for the last 3 or 4 mocks that we've done, that first mock is still my favorite, by the way, John. That first one was still my favorite. It was insane. But I am worried about Mosley. I am worried about what we get out of him after a 3-year hiatus. Good Lord. So I love Zaven as a player. I don't think I'd take him at 23, though. I don't. I'd rather trade down, take Tevin, take Creed. Well, I don't know. It depends on what happens with Creed. But I would either trade down, take Tevin, before I do Zaven at 23. That's my opinion on that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't really have much of a different opinion. I think he's super good. I just worry about taking a defensive player at 23 because I really, really want to address the offensive line. And again, if we're not addressing offensive line, I really want to trade back. We got Straight Fire on the phone. We're going to take his call.
Let's do it. Sean Bennett, don't you dare start with that voodoo shit.
He hung up. What the hell just happened? Straight Fire, call me back. I don't know what just happened. We got disconnected.
Sean Bennett says, watch JD drop an atom bomb and draft Mac Jones. Oh my God. I'll turn off the TV. You'll see me spike the stream camera on live TV.
Can you guys believe the draft is tomorrow? How exciting is that? Just to even be able to say that.
Let's go.
So back to Isaac. He says Algier in the later rounds. He is talking about the BYU running back, and I pulled him up. He seems pretty explosive. 5'11", 220 pounds. This past year, he only got 150 carries, which is nice. He doesn't have too much wear and tear. 1,100 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, 13 touchdowns. Would be nice to see more receptions. Only 14 receptions. That part maybe is a little bit concerning. But again, any running back late in the draft, I am cool with.
Straight Fire.
Press 1 to send a voice.
Straight
Fire. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? It's been a minute. It's actually a good time to be calling you guys. How are you guys?
We're doing fantastic,
What's
man.
going on, man?
Mike, before I begin, guys, I just want to say Corey Davis is still going to be a good player. Relax. We're fine. Let's get into the draft.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, we all know Zach Wilson is going to be the pick, no brainer. I'm going to talk about 23. I'm starting to have very, very, very strong opinions about who we're going to take. But I'm starting to get worried, guys, in reference to the O-line. I went on many different chats, and I've, followed a lot of these, so-called analysts. And there are reports that the Giants, the Chargers, the Vikings, the Raiders, and even the Tennessee Titans are looking at offensive line. And if Penei Sewell goes in the top 10, which he is, and Rashawn Slater's going to go in the top 10, that means that the Tevin Jenkins of the world, that Elijah Tucker, who I'm starting to have great feelings for, I think he's going to be an outstanding guard. He may not even be there. Tevin Jenkins may go in the early 20s. So projecting it, we might have to trade up, which is going to eliminate some of the picks that we're going to have in the later round, which I'm not a fan of because we're going to need every pick to bolster this roster. So I'm just getting nervous in regards to what kind of O-line we're going to potentially have because I don't think they're going to be there at 23. So I just don't know what Joe D is planning on doing if that's the case.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns is like the fact that we might miss out on all of the top ones. But I do remember last year we had that same concern, and Mekhi Becton made it to our pick. Even the guy that went to the Bucks, I can never remember his damn name. But, we just have a lot of good players in this draft. We just have to hope that somebody falls. You know what I mean?
I get it, but like seeing all the reports and seeing all those teams obviously in front of the Jets, and the fact that a lot of these guys have so many injury concerns, and it's going to move them down the draft board, which could have bumped the offensive lineman up. 23 is not going to be an ideal spot for us to get that potential Pro Bowl guard in a Tucker. Even Christian Darrisaw, who a lot of people thought would be there in the late first round, there's even talks that I've seen in so many mocks of him going in the top 20. So that adds another element to that. And if Joe D is hell-bent, which we all know he is, on moving up, then that means we're going to have to give up maybe that third. We're probably going to have to give up maybe that fifth. And we just can't afford to do that because we're going to need these picks. So me personally, I think Joe Duggan, once he sees the value that's not there, he's going to end up, reading the board. And if we're fortunate and one of these guys drop, great. But if he feels like, I just don't want to give up on these draft picks, I could potentially see him trading out of 23 and moving down and maybe getting Jason Owa, who they feel like can be a potential, his potential is great, and then getting another pick in the second so we can get an Elijah Moore or Rondé Moore, because obviously we got two wide receivers entering their final year, their deals. So we can get a Rondé Moore in the second, and if we trade down, we can get maybe an edge, and in the third round, probably get like a Kendrick Green or even a Wyatt Davis late in the second if he decides to trade down. So I'm guessing that's what he's going to do, and maybe he'll go with Greg Newsom with 23.
Yeah, dude, it's very possible. Thank you so much for giving us a call. We're going to let you run. We're going to respond to what you just said, though. Thank you so much for calling, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Go Jets,
You got
dude.
it, man. Have a good one,
Hope to see you tomorrow. Later, man. All right, that is straight fire. Mike, why don't you quickly give some thoughts on that idea that the offensive linemen may be all gone? And so what do you think Joe Douglas does, or what would you do, I guess, in that circumstance, that if Joe Douglas sees that all the top offensive linemen are gone, do you trade back? Do you just take a defensive player at that spot? How do you feel about it?
I do think that within the last week, especially in the last 72 hours, offensive lineman stock across all the top first round talent has gone up. If you would look at the mocks dated, in mid-March, end of March, compared to the refresh mocks in the last week, you will absolutely see that those offensive lines have moved up the lists week after week as those mocks are refreshed. I disagree with straight fire on Christian Darrisaw. He was always in all the mocks I saw, he was always going to go top 20, at least as far as I saw. So that's not shocking to me. His concern is valid. 23 is it's a long way down to 23, right? It's a long way down. However, I don't think I still pulled the trigger to trade up. Now it depends on what the trade is, John. So this is me saying that it would take an arm and a leg to trade up to a spot where you would go after Tevin. You have Tevin falling to us, if I remember correctly. If I'm not looking at the stream, I don't. I think Tevin goes top 20 as well.
I think he does.
And my thing is, though, going back to my main point is, if it takes too many picks to go up 5 spots, 8 spots, whatever it takes, look at the glass half full rather than half empty. Someone's falling, right? So there's always a give and take to life, right, ladies and gentlemen? There's a give and take to life. So if it's taking, then it's going to give you something, and someone's going to give, whether that's Michael Parsons, whether that's I'm just looking at my list right. If a defensive talent's falling, Kwity Paye, someone's going to be there. And yes,
I don't want to cut you off. That was going to be my comment. If these guys are all flying off the board, you're 100% right. Because if they're all going, somebody's falling that maybe shouldn't be.
Right.
And there's a lot of people talking about how they don't want to trade up. And I agree. I would prefer not to. But if we only have to move up just nominally from 23 to, let's say, 18, that's not going to require as much as you think it's going to require. I really do think that we could probably give a third-round pick and make that jump. And again, Joe Douglas is really, really good at maneuvering around the board. He could trade back from 34 and grab more picks. So I don't think we need to.
And my other thing is, I think my comment automatically assumed that if the offensive linemen are taken, obviously the quarterbacks go, and the 3 big receiving talents go, that you have to go defense. That's not true either, because there's a strong chance that Jalen Waddle finds himself falling down, and there's a lot of people who love the Jalen Waddle pick at 23, the rookie Tyreek Hill, or the I don't know, the kind of Tyreek Hill wannabe, I guess you could say, until he proves himself. It doesn't necessarily have to be defense. If we have to pivot and we can't trade up for that nominal pick, to your point, John, because that's really gets kind of, we're just assuming, and it's subjective, right? Like, okay, if we're going to trade up, Are we comfortable with trading up? Well, it all depends on what it is, right? It all depends on how much it takes. So if it doesn't take much, if it's a 3rd-round pick to go up and get Tevin Jenkins, I'm with you, John. I mean, I think I'd give up the 3rd pick. I hand it myself. I'll
Yep.
put a bow on it.
And again,
But
we're
if
not
they,
talking about a major jump up the boards to
right,
get him either. It's going to take
right.
not
But
terribly a lot of draft capital to get up to
I'm
get him.
just right. I'm just saying, depending on the trade, if it makes sense and it doesn't capsize our strategy here, which is to carpet bomb the next 3 drafts with the picks that we have, I'm all for it. But if it starts to capsize that strategy, then I think you need to pivot. You need to look at the glass half full. You either have a top tier defense talent dropping, or you have a different position in offense dropping, and that
Yeah.
we need everything. I mean, chat, John. I mean, it's not like we have a Super Bowl caliber team. Okay,
Right.
we
Lots
need
of
a
holes.
lot of shit. Okay, so if we got to change our strategy and move some things to next year, then let's do it. I'm not gonna pass
Yeah.
on something, on a present that has a bow on it, just because it doesn't have offensive lineman on the 2 sticker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. All right, we got a lot of comments. Guys, if you don't mind, hit the like button. We're at 13 right now. We'd love to see us get up to 20 before the end of the night. We have official loyal New York Jets fan in the chat. Dude, we got to connect, dude. I've been seeing you all over other streams. Would love to get you on the channel. Oh, we got a phone call. Let's get to it. This is what I'm all about.
To accept, press 1.
What's going on, dude? Welcome to NYJ today. How you doing? What's your name?
This is Isaac Benjamin. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Isaac?
How's it going, John? I know you and I got to go back and forth on Twitter, man, talking about a lot of things, but I just wanted to touch on a couple things for you. Give you another voice.
Yeah, dude, go for it.
Well, listening to what you guys were touching on, I want to touch on a couple things here. I do agree to some extent. It depending upon how the board is, and I think Joe Douglas is going to be looking at the board. If he starts to see certain aspects, he might be able to use some of that draft capital. Even though I do agree with what you're saying, it's not going to be a lot to move up a few spaces in the first round to capture who he needs to capture. Looking at it from my perspective, though, I would sit at 23. If you've got one of the elite corners that's still dangling out there, I would grab them. I mean, obviously, the Jets, we haven't had really an elite corner since Revis. It's good, something like that can be done, possibly even bringing in Sherman, after the draft to maybe, mold them, model them even a little bit more, and then possibly attack O-line, with the first, round 2 pick. There's a lot of different offensive lineman guys out there that still could be hanging around that are pretty good. You look at someone like Alex Leatherwood from Alabama. I'm a big Bama fan. Been following for years. I've seen Alex do some wonderful things there. But I also took notice to the Notre Dame. He's more of a guard, which is what I think the Jets kind of need, is more of that interior. So basically, I think his name is Liam Eichenberg, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's Eichenberg.
He's Eichenberg, yeah. I mean, I think he's pretty good, decent shot at the beginning of the second round, potentially moving and sitting into that guard position right there. I think that they should definitely focus on corner and O-line, tail end of the first, beginning of the second. Whether you want to go O-line at 23, corner, at 34, or vice versa, I think they should look at something like that. And then they can address some other needs. That's why I was saying maybe running back later on. I pulled up Algiers. I did watch, BYU. I saw what he did with Zach Wilson. Obviously, you know me, you and I kind of go over it throughout the week. I prefer Fields over Wilson, but we do believe that it will be Wilson at number 2. So if you can get someone like an Algiers to pair with Wilson, who he's already familiar with, that makes things a little bit easier. Or, going back and watching that Coastal Carolina game, I mean, I saw C.J. Maribel, the running back from Coastal Carolina. I mean, he's blown me away against that BYU defense, which is supposed to be, top-notch in their division. You're looking at a game between Coastal Carolina and BYU, both of them undefeated, and Maribel was running all over the place. So, I mean, I don't think it has to be a top elite person like a Najee Harris, even though I would love that. I mean, he's, like I said, I'm a Bama fan. I I think Najee's great. I think Travis Etienne is great. I think if Trey Sermon is there from Ohio State in the later rounds, like round 3, I scoop him up over anybody else. But if they're not, those 3 guys are kind of gone, those top running backs, there's nothing wrong with looking at someone like CJ Maribel or an Algiers, in like the later rounds. So, I mean, that's my perspective on it. But I really would love to see them get an elite cornerback. We need that, definitely on defense. We've got the safeties covered right there. We just need a true elite corner. I think once you've got that, that's going to really help solid his defense, and they're going to wreck shop.
I appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you so much. Very well said. Everything sounded great there, and I agree with you. Cornerback is a big need. We're going to talk a little bit about what you just called in for us. Thank you again, dude, for calling in. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure, brother. See you later, man.
That's right, brother. Later. So my man said a lot of things, talking about cornerback. Definitely a huge need for us. You could definitely make the case at 23 that may be what they end up doing. We don't know for sure what.
His cliff notes was he agrees. I mean, you got to look at the full board. You can't just make if the offensive lineman isn't there, you just don't automatically trade out of the pick. You know what I'm saying? Like there's more decision points. There's more business processes to get to that decision before you automatically say, okay, now the pick's horrible and I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is what he was he went in much more detail and did a much better analysis than the trash that I spit out. But
He was very articulate. It was very well said, I think, for sure. We've still got so much chat, and again, you guys keep loading these questions up because I am saving them. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. We're getting creeping towards 20. We would really appreciate a like here. We've got 25 people in the chat right now. Go ahead and smack the like button. We would really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So, C. Wally says, any early, mid, or late round wide receivers that you guys have your eyes on? I've talked about them before. Anthony Schwartz from Auburn is a big-time guy I would like to add. We need a deep threat wide receiver. Marquez Stevenson from, I think it's Houston. He'd be fantastic as well. He's got a lot of injuries that concern me. And then I really do. I like Jalen Darden a lot still, too. He's one of my favorites. And to touch on a comment that we got earlier from loyal Jets fan, he is being a very kind person and bringing up my guy. Kadarius Toney, again, I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. If we can get Zach Wilson, an offensive lineman, whether it be AVT, Jenkins, and then maybe Kadarius Toney at 34, I'll lose my ever-loving mind. So I know he's not a late or a mid-round wide receiver, but I just had to throw that in there because my guy is Kadarius Toney. If he's available in any spot that we can potentially get him, I'm all for that. And that's why I say trade back at 23, because we can get picks and we can still get a really good player, I think.
I think Kadarius is going to go in the first round.
He might, and he might. He very well could. There's a lot of good.
What about this? Let me give you this scenario. Riddle me this. Tevin's there and Kadarius is there. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Tevin. It's not even a question.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure your mind was straight. I wanted to make sure you didn't take the blue pill instead of the red pill.
Just because I love him doesn't mean I'm gonna get crazy.
No, you get crazy. That's all right.
So Vern says Coxie sleeper wide receiver. Straight Fire comes in. He says Tutu Atwell, Cade Johnson, Darden are all explosive receivers. Tutu would be nice. He would be a really good replacement for Jamison Crowder after this season. I think we need somebody that can come in. I appreciate all of you guys yelling in the chat for a like. I appreciate that. No worries. It's all good. Let me get to some more of my questions because that's what, again, I'd like this to be. That's what I want the channel to be as we move into the actual NFL season is just you guys throwing in comments and we talk about them. C. Wally says, how do you guys feel about trying to trade for Julio Jones? Also, any wide receivers that you guys like mid-late rounds? We did just kind of hit on that part, but I did want to talk about the Julio Jones thing. Apparently, the Falcons have told teams and entertained listening to trade offers for Julio. Why don't you go ahead first, Mikey? You don't have to spend forever on this one. Would you trade for Julio?
Would I trade for Julio? It depends on the trade. And to me, it really depends on the trade. Julio's going into his sixth season, I think.
I think he's 31.
Yeah. So we're not. I mean, this would be a very similar move to the Plaxico Burress. Maybe a better would be a Braylon Edwards. This is very similar to that type of situation. Not Braylon was never the caliber of Julio Jones. I'm not saying that. Plaxico was a bit closer to Julio than Braylon was, but I'm just saying in terms of okay, you're doing that for what? We're not a Super Bowl ready team, chat. We're not a Super Bowl ready team. If you're bringing Julio in, you're bringing Julio in because you want to win now. That's my opinion. So my answer to that is I'm not hot about it because it's not a good opportunity for him, and it's not really a good opportunity for us. Because by the time the team matures, whether we get Tevin, whether we get Creed, whether we get Najee, whether we get whoever, the team's going to need 3 years to mature, and Julio's going to be 34 years old at that point. So by the time you can maximize the opportunity he provides, he's already done. So I think to me that opportunity would have been great even just 2 years ago, but I'm not hot on it right now, to be honest with you.
There's a lot of people saying no. There's nobody really making a case for Julio. I agree. You just said it beautifully, by the way. No to Julio, not because he's not a great player. We're not in a win-now situation, and he should go to a team that's in a win-now situation if he's going to get traded at all. And I think it's pretty unlikely that he gets traded, if you're asking me personally. Don't worry, though. I appreciate the question. Again, that's what I want this channel to be moving towards, is you guys leading the discussion a little bit. Let's see. Whoops, I just deleted a comment accidentally. Let's see. Sorry, I just deleted my question. Damn it. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Thoughts on waiting till round 3 to start making some O-line picks. Grant Root, I think, will have pretty strong feelings about this because he's been talking about that for the last 2 weeks or so, how the Jets can still address the offensive line waiting until round 3, where we do have two picks.
Yeah, it's not apples to apples at the third round and below, in my opinion. I mean, you can't compare that talent to the talent that's scheduled to go in the first round.
Well, that's not what he's saying now. He's just asking, would you wait till round 3?
I'm sorry. I read the question wrong. I think it depends. I think then I go back to it depends on how the draft is trending at that point. If Joe D has to pivot, and this brings in this brings up the question that Isaac responded to, or that Straight Fire responded to. If they got to pivot, then the entire strategy changes. That's the amazing thing about the draft. That's the craziest part about this is where Joe D earns his salary. This last 3 months is why he gets paid what he gets paid. In which case, depending on what happens, they might have to totally flip their strategy. In which case, see Wally, that's I could definitely see that being a situation where they're going to try to maximize.
Actually.
Oh, that was Vern? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, Vern. I was talking about that. So Vern, I'm actually cool with taking an offensive lineman early and then taking one in the third round. I think Jets fans that are saying let's take an offensive lineman at 23 and 34, it sounds good on paper, definitely, because you're building your offensive line, but I see it very unlikely that Joe Douglas does that. I would be shocked if we go offensive line back-to-back with our 23rd and our 34th overall pick. So, yeah, I agree. We should be looking at an offensive lineman in the third round, in addition to taking one early as well. Let's see. Isaac Benjamin says, agree with you, Mike. He says, I love Julio, but Joe D has been focused on younger players, and Julio is on the back 9 of his career. He definitely is. Grant Root says, I want one early offensive lineman, get the elite talent if it's there. I want the rest of the O-line to be pipeline/built in the rounds 3 through 4. There will be potential starters in the third round. That's what I've been talking about all offseason. Draft a bunch of offensive linemen or a couple in this draft and just stick them on the bench and develop them. And no longer will we have these situations where if somebody goes down on the offensive line, we're just completely effed. I'm so tired of that. We have one goddamn injury and it's just the whole offense goes to shit, and I'm tired of that. I would really, really like to see us have depth, quality depth in the draft, ready to go, that are developed. That's the way to do it. And so I 100% agree with you, Grant Rue. Take one early, take one in the mid rounds, have some depth, and build and develop. Straight Fire, you guys are really crushing it on the chat. I really appreciate it. Straight Fire says, John and Mike, how do you feel about our backup quarterback situation? I'm not a fan of Brian Hoyer. He says, but we need an option. Who do you guys have us signing? I'll go first on this one. I think it's Nick Mullins. It's the clear choice. He would be the best. He's 26 years old, so he can be our backup for a long time if need be. And he's got experience in the system. He started some football games and wasn't terrible. So I'm all for CJ Mullins. CJ Mullins, is that right? Nick Mullins,
Yeah.
sorry. Nick Mullins.
Yeah.
Who would you want, Mike? James Morgan?
Isn't Alex Smith out there?
Nah, he retired, dude.
Oh, did he retire?
Yeah, he retired. It was like a week and a half ago or so.
My bad. I missed that. I mean, I'm not crazy about Brian Hoyer, but I agree with your analysis on Nick Mullins. I'm just trying to think what the names were out there, and if these names are off, I mean, I don't want RG3. That's not appealing to me. Wasn't Blaine Gabbert one of the names that was floated out there at one point in time?
Available. I think he's signed. I'm not sure though, to be honest with you.
I know it was Barkley, Gabbert, RG3, Mullins, and Hoyer, and then Smith for me. I didn't pick up on the retirement. So with some of those names not on the board, I definitely would take Mullins over Hoyer. So I'm concurring with your.
Yeah. I feel like he's the obvious choice. Like he would be just a great fit. I'm a little bit nervous that they do go Hoyer. I think he'd be okay. He'd be a really good mentor. But if Zach Wilson does get hurt, we're going to be looking at the same situation that we had with Gase, where we have no offense and we have no shot of winning a football game with our starter being hurt. Wonderful. Let's go to the comments here. C. Wally says, I think the scheme will help our offensive line look better than last year, but defense needs one early and the rest for development, for sure. Oh, he said definitely need one early. John, exactly. The Chiefs didn't lose the Super Bowl because they didn't have an amazing offensive line. They lost because they didn't have depth at O-line. And that's true. They had a couple injuries, and then they were toast. And to be fair, a lot of teams generally don't have fantastic depth on the offensive line. But if you invest in the draft in some offensive linemen and you can kind of develop them, that's the best way to go for the offensive line.
I totally agree.
Get Mode Bob comes in with a good comment. Again, I think this is one of those guys we keep forgetting about him, and I don't know if that's a smart idea because this guy may end up competing for a starting job this year. Cameron Clark, the guard out of Charlotte that we took in the 4th round last year, he could be he could be one of the young inside offensive linemen that they're counting on. So we just have to wait and see on that. Isaac Benjamin says, I know everyone is high on LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase, and rightfully so, but how do you feel about a possible grab of LSU's Terrence Marshall Jr.? How far do you think he can fall? This is one of the guys that you had talked about, Mike, I think earlier.
I was a big fan of Terrence Marshall. There's some mocks that still have.
Tall,
some mocks that still. What's up?
He's tall, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy. I think he's 6'4". I want to say he's a very aggressive receiver. Some people still have him creeping his way up close to the 1st round, but I think the mocks that we've run and the latest mocks refreshed within this last week, have him in that 2nd round, 3rd round area, potentially drop into the 3rd. So I'm, the 34th pick obviously is very interesting. I don't think I take him at 34, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be other talent there that is more appealing. I think, though, he will be a steal for someone. I do genuinely believe that. I don't think he'll be a Jet. I think he has the physical traits to be a great receiver, and he will find a good home, but I do not think it'll be with the Jets.
Okay, fair enough. And C. Wally kind of agrees. He says maybe if we trade back from 34 and get super lucky, Terrence Marshall will fall a little bit. So I have a couple of. I put out a predictions video, and by the way, the people went crazy. The last two videos are over 1,300 views each. Um, so I made a couple of predictions. I think wide receiver is one of those positions that people are sleeping on. I think Joe Douglas is going to be pretty aggressive in addressing wide receiver early in the draft. It may not be my guy that I want, Kadarius Toney, but I think he's going to go for a receiver. Jamison Crowder's on the last year of his deal. Keelan Cole only has 1 year deal, a 1 year deal. So you're looking at a receiver core where there's not a whole lot there other than Denzel Mims and Corey Davis after this season. So I think that wide receiver is a sleeper pick that could surprise a lot of fans. I think they're going to try to get another weapon. So we just have to wait and see. Michelle just commented. She said, watermelon, lime, jello shots just went in the fridge, boys.
Boom.
It's gonna get intense tomorrow, guys. We are gonna be having a good old drinking time. Again, hope you guys come in for the.
Should you tell them about my physical traits when I drink? About this area, what happens?
In college, he used to. He was a sloppy mess. Let's just be honest. He was Frank the Tank, and he would get his night would always start. He'd have a little bit of beer, like a little spill of beer on his neck, and it would just grow. It would spread like a virus. It would get wetter and wetter, and by the night was end, he had like a huge circle of wet on his chest. Great Root says Jets have Mims and Davis. Why do you want a third 6'2", 220-ish contested catch guy? I agree. We do need a speed guy. We do need a guy who can stretch the field. Having said that, though, I think that Mims is. I think that people are underselling his ability to get deep. I think that he's going to be much better with a different quarterback this year. He was open a lot last year, and for whatever reason, Darnold just did not target him. And so, of course, we want deep speed. We want a guy who can really burn. But I think Mims and Davis, I think really highly of that combo. I think it's very solid. It's got a lot of potential. So we just have to wait and see. What college did we attend? Salisbury University. It's in Maryland. That is our alma mater. Salisbury University. It's a small school. It's a big one in Maryland.
Don't ask us what the mascot is.
Yeah, it's the Seagulls. It's close to the beach. That's why. Jason Rhodes, welcome, sure. We're happy to see you, Jason Rhodes. I didn't think we'd see you, but we're happy to see you nonetheless. Let's go. The chat has slowed down a little bit. There's not as many questions. If you guys do have a question or if you want to talk about something, throw it in the chat. I'm trying my best to keep my eye on it. But what do you think about doing a last final 7-round mock draft, because the NFL draft is tomorrow. It is Draftmas
Say
Eve.
what? Say what? It's tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Get out of here.
It's tomorrow. So Tommy says, love Ocean City and the crabs. Definitely Ocean City is real close to Salisbury.
Who said that?
Tommy R. Welcome to the channel, dude. Thanks for coming back. We really appreciate it.
Tommy, you in MD or Delaware? Where you at? I'm just curious.
So Jason Rhodes says, just out of the field, started to rain, and what a better place to be. You are too kind, sir. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. He says, at least it wasn't the Pelicans. Nope. Seagulls. Give him a little bit of... All right. Hit a like button, guys. We're almost there. We're almost to 20. That was my goal for this stream, and you have almost hit it. We're at 19. Give me another like if you don't mind, guys. We'd really appreciate it. All right, Mike. You ready?
Let's do it.
Final mock draft of the New York Jets offseason. Thank God.
Let's go.
I love mock drafts, but I am worn out from them. All right. I closed it like a bum. Give me 1 minute. I'll pull it up, and we'll be ready to go. All right. Let's see here. We got the Jets. And you know we're doing the Jets because the NFL draft is tomorrow, like I said a minute ago. We're going to go to start. What in the hell is that? Start simulation, fast, 7 rounds. Make sure this looks pretty. It does not. Sorry for the setup here. That looks okay. All right, boys. We're going to just do this pretty much plain and simple. You guys throw us the players you want. We're not going to do a timer. And we're just going to go through this basically one pick at a time. And we're going to try to make this as realistic as possible. Basically, we're not going to do too many trades. If we get a good trade offer, maybe at that 34th spot, maybe we'll do that. That was a good comment by you. He says, I don't drink, but I can pretend to drink to be drunk if I'm excited for tomorrow. Hey, man, it's NFL draft drunk. Vern says, I'm by 6 p.m. every day. All right, let's start this draft.
Vern, you're my hero.
Trevor Lawrence goes number 1 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. No surprise there. Guys, the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson. Again, this is not to be rude to any Justin Fields supporter. It's just super unlikely at this point that they take him. So, again, I mean, what do you think, Mike? We good on just taking him?
I was gonna say something stupid, like if Jags didn't take Trevor, Jags trade down or something like that. But that's so pipe dream. Yeah, it's gonna be Zach. It's gonna be Zach.
Yeah, I agree. We won't waste any time here. Zach Wilson to the New York Jets. Sorry to all my Justin Fields supporters. Again, I think that I said it enough all off season. I really like
Grant Rude. Shut up, Grant.
I really like Justin Fields a lot. Interesting. Creed Humphrey goes 22. So let's go ahead and that is true, Isaac. That is the one thing that people can kind of think about is that the Browns on draft day, it came out literally like an hour before the draft started that they were going to take Baker Mayfield. And it was a surprise because nobody was projecting it until literally the day of the draft. So let's see. Kyle Pitts. Jason Rhodes says, I don't care who they draft. I'm just going to boo. Let's take a look at what happened. Trey Lance goes 3rd overall. Rashawn Slater goes 4th overall. Penei Sewell, Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain, Justin Fields went to the Broncos. Okay. Jalen Waddle, J.C. Horn, Devonta Smith. That's interesting. Azeez Ojulari, Micah Parsons, Christian Darrisaw, Greg Newsome, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I love that name. Christian Barmore is
to the Bears.
Elijah Vera Tucker, Creed Humphrey, and Vera Tucker. That one hurts a lot that he's not gone. But guys, Tevin Jenkins is available. And let's look at this because this is what you were talking about, Mike. Players that went ahead of this pick, it's not unrealistic, I feel like. Like maybe Creed Humphrey went a little bit earlier than he should have.
Mac doesn't go to the Bears. I'm calling that right now.
All right, well, remember though, it's not about where they went. Do you think Mac Jones will be picked before the 20th pick tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all you have to keep in mind.
I got you. That's a good point.
Yeah, but my point was like all the players that got picked before 23.
Zaven, I think is high. Zaven's high. I think. I'm just looking. Azeez, I think is a little high for me.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I read tweets from people who do this for a living, who do scouting for a living, and a guy said that Zaven Collins could be a top 15 surprise pick this draft. Like, I'm not saying he will be. That's just what somebody said, and I think, like, we need to be prepared for a few shockers. Like, I feel like in the chat, like, it would be cool if you guys told me what you think could be some of the shocks.
I think this draft's going to be crazy, man. This first round is going to be nuts.
It's going to be very unpredictable, I think.
I think it's tomorrow.
I know. It's so great. Orlando Vega, thank you for coming back to the channel, dude. Really good to see you. If you guys are watching and you haven't subscribed, we'd really appreciate a subscribe to our channel. We're very close to 550. We really appreciate all the support. And again, please like this stream if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it. We've got a vote for Jenkins right now. C. Wally says, people think Jenkins projects to right tackle or guard, right? He may actually fall to the Jets with most teams focused on a left tackle. That's a fair point because Jenkins, he did play 3 spots. He played left tackle, right tackle, and right guard while he was at Oklahoma State. And the thing to keep in mind with Jenkins is that versatility. Is he can play guard, he can play offensive tackle. That could get him drafted early though, because he's so versatile. Teams might just get really excited with the thought of having that versatility. Yeah, Sean Bennett, it's going to happen. I guarantee it. It might not be Tevin Jenkins. Somebody is going to slip. It happens every draft. I promise you. It's going to happen. So Mark Orlando says I could see Collins going 18 actually at 18. I'm sorry, I could see Collins going 18 to Miami. I agree. I think that could absolutely happen. Again, be prepared. There are going to be shocks in this draft. There is every year. ZC could be the best linebacker in the draft class. Yeah, he has really high upside. Guys, what are you thinking? Who do you want at this pick? Vern says, is Kwity Paye still there? I believe so. I'm not sure you'll win that one. Kwity Paye is available. Sorry, my icon's not loading so fast. Jamin Davis, the linebacker, is available. Caleb Farley is available. I'm not touching that. Najee Harris, Travis Etienne are available. Rashad Bateman is available. Pat Freiermuth is available. Samuel Cosme, Tevin Jenkins. And that's it. I feel like everybody's going to say Jenkins. Orlando Vega, he says, Jenkins has short arms. He's going to be slated to play guard in the NFL. I agree, and that's why I think he's such a great fit for this team. Diego Olivares, I believe I've seen you in the chat before, dude. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please consider. If you're new here, we hope you consider subscribing, dude. Appreciate you coming in. He says O-line or bust. Agreed. Mike's fridge only contains beer.
That's 100% correct.
I have a fridge right behind us. This is where we'll be doing the draft stream, by the way. That's why I'm on my couch. And there is a fridge really close by. Yeah, dude, welcome. We're really happy to see you in the chat. We like new people, so. All right, guys. Isaac says, what cornerbacks are still available? The only corner that I saw was Caleb Farley that I would consider at this pick. We've got Melifonwu, Kelvin Joseph, Eric Stokes, Asante Samuel. A lot of these guys I think we could get in the second round if we were going to get a corner. I don't know, guys. I feel like Jenkins is the automatic pick here. I don't want to force anything here.
It's got to be Jenkins.
We would all take Jenkins, and we would all be screaming for it if it was actually this scenario on draft night. Okay, Straight Fire is saying Samuel Cosme will be a Pro Bowler. Yeah, he's a good offensive line prospect too. That's another guy that the Jets could be interested in if he is available. Isaac says, people keep forgetting the offensive weapon that Buffalo, Miami, and the Pats have. Running back, come on. All right, Vern's saying, let's take Jenkins. Diego is saying, let's take Jenkins.
It's Jenkins.
Karma, I don't remember if you're new, sir. If you are, welcome. If you've been here before, again, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and take Tevin Jenkins. I feel like that's a no-brainer here, guys. Tevin Jenkins, Zach Wilson, we are cooking. Oh, what the shit is this? Are you kidding me?
What happened?
We only did a first-round mock. I know I clicked on 7. That's BS. All right, hold on. We're going to go back to it. Jets. What a pain in the ass. Sorry about that, guys. All right, we're going to take Zach Wilson. And we'll hope that Tevin Jenkins is available. Oh, he's not. God darn it. All right, so we have to talk about the 23rd overall pick again. Technical glitch, guys. Sorry. Technical glitch. So stupid. All right, offensive tackle. Samuel Cosme's there. Creed Humphrey is available. Joseph Asai, Zaven Collins is available in this draft. I promise you the drinking has not started. I am sober as a whistle. Okay, and Vern says, I think this is a good restart, actually, because he doesn't think that there's any shot of Jenkins actually being there. I've got my vote for Creed Humphrey here. I would probably look to trade back at 23 if this is how the board shook out. You could make the case.
What's the wide receiver talent?
Rashad Bateman, who's basically a clone of Corey Davis and Denzel Mims. Kadarius Toney is available. Terrence Marshall. C. Wally is saying, let's go Samuel Cosme or check for trades. How sober can a whistle really be? Sorry, as clean as a whistle. I'm as clean as a whistle. Quit calling my bullshit, Grant. I don't like it. Do that to Mike.
Yeah, Grant. Get him, Grant. Get him.
Vern says, let's go Zaven Collins or Quiddy Pay. You guys got to start loading up this chat or I'm going to do something real silly and take a defensive player. Vern is in favor of taking defense, and I am just not. I can't agree with you, Vern. No disrespect to you. I just really want to make sure we get offensive players here. Can't be a Jets fan if you don't start drinking early, John. Listen, tomorrow I get off of work at 4 o'clock. I will be starting at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. Tomorrow is a marathon. It is a marathon. C. Wally says, let's go Samuel Cosme or Jason Away. I still don't know how to say his damn name. Big board, please. Yes, sir.
If Chad was here, he'd be saying Creed for sure.
Yeah, but the point is my whistle is clean. But you're right, that whistles can get filthy. If we don't protect Wilson, he will regress like Sam did. This is kind of my thought. That's why I'm leaning towards Creed Humphrey here. Yes, livers are going to be murdered tomorrow. They're going to be punished. Guys, I'm leaning towards Creed Humphrey. Let's make the next comments only your vote on who you're taking. No more livers will be murdered comments, please. I would like to see who you want. Creed Humphrey or Quiddy Pay. He's saying it would complete the defensive line. Has Vera Tucker been grabbed? If he has not been grabbed, we would have already made the pick. He has been snagged up. He went to 17th to the Raiders. Okay, we got Creed, Pay, Creed. Trade down if we're not getting Humphrey. All right, so that's another vote for Creed. Another vote for Creed.
All right,
I feel like we're going to go with Creed in this mock draft. I think that's fine. I don't actually think we're going to take Creed Humphrey. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Joe Douglas will try to trade back from 23.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not going to do future picks. That's silly Willy. Newsom was not still on the board. If he were, I probably would have also pushed for him as well. We are now at pick 34. And we're going to just look at the big board for right now. Jamin Davis, the linebacker. That could be an interesting pick at 34, actually. Caleb Farley is available. Gregory Rousseau. Kadarius Toney. Alex Leatherwood, a guy we talked about earlier. He's available. Wyatt Davis. I think that's pretty much it. Like, those are the best available right now. Diego is saying, let's go Farley. Yeah, Grant Root, that's how I feel about it. Humphrey is okay at 23, but it really would be better if we traded back or took him at 34. Just my opinion.
I agree with that.
A lot of people disagree with me on that, so it's all good. Grant Root is saying, let's take Melifonwu, the cornerback. Is he available? He is. Melifonwu is available. I would rather take Melifonwu over Farley. I would rather avoid the injury risks. Isaac Benjamin is saying, let's take Farley. Wally is saying, let's take Farley or Melifonwu.
Are we not going to talk about Kadarius being there?
We can't, I don't think. I would really like Kadarius, but nobody's going to agree with me. I'm not going to
use your power. Use your commissioner power and just make it happen.
My power is that I listen to the chat. So Diego's saying Farley or Gregory Rousseau. Angel says Leatherwood would be a nice fit at guard. Sean Bennett saying take Farley if he's there. That's a lot of people saying Farley and Melifonwu.
But it goes back to our plan, which was to use the 34th pick to satisfy the defense. That's something that us in the chat have been saying for a long time now.
I'm cool with that. Let's go ahead and vote on those two players, guys, because those are the ones that have been mentioned the most. Excuse me.
Burns with Tony.
Vern, you're my boy. I knew I liked you, dude. I am with Tony. I feel like, guys, if think about it. Think about the offensive firepower. And again, we got inside offensive linemen now. We've got pretty decent tackles. We can still get some offensive linemen in the third round. I'm all for getting offense in this draft. So you know that because I had a video about it a couple of weeks ago. So I'm saying right now we choose between Farley and Melifonwu. So guys, go ahead and fill it up right now with the chat. Let's pick between those two. Those are the most talked about names right now in the chat. Melifonwu or Caleb Farley.
You got 1 minute.
I would vote. Yeah, that's fair. 1 minute. I would probably pick Melifonwu over Farley just because Straight Fire says neither.
Farley.
If I were in control of the pick by myself, I would be taking Kadarius Toney. That's my take. You guys do not have to agree with me. And C. Wally, my man, this is what I've been talking about. That's why I wanted Curtis Samuel so bad. We do need somebody to make that or to have that threat. Jet sweeps, end arounds, can line up as a running back. We need that kind of guy on our offense. Straight Fire says, I want Rondale Moore. He's explosive. He is. He can jump. He can run. Let me go ahead and see what the votes are. We got a lot of Farley, guys. I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
Jason Rhodes, Farley. Isaac Benjamin, it looks like you're voting Farley. Vern, Farley. Straight Fire says neither. Mark Orlando says Farley. Robbie Oak says Melifonwu. C. Wally says Farley. Melifonwu by Sean Bennett. C. Wally, I am not going to do that. I would love to do that, though. But my chat, it's you guys. You guys have a voice on the channel. I want that to always be the case, even when it's not mock draft season. We're going Farley. He's got the most votes. It's not even really close. Yeah, that's how I feel, Gitmo. If it were me, I would not be taking Caleb Farley. But again, you are the voice of this NYJ Today channel. So we're going to go with Caleb Farley here. It's a pretty consensus pick here. We'll read this next comment. Mark Orlando, he says, Farley's back issues are not degenerative, which is an important word here. If you don't know what that means, it basically means that his back is going to deteriorate over time, and that's not the case with Caleb Farley. He says it was from a car accident. He had 2 surgeries because he didn't repair both discs at the same time. He hasn't had any problems from the first surgery. Mark Orlando, I appreciate all of that information. That is why I love it. That's why I like having a YouTube channel, because we get to interact with people that know a lot as well as us. So, yep. Diego says he's got injury concerns, but the talent is definitely first round. Straight Fire, I agree, man. I agree. It's risky. It's always better to side on the cautious side with these very, very primo picks. Yeah, Mark Orlando was spitting facts. I appreciate it, Mark Orlando. Again, very good compliment to you. James DiPietro, where have you been? We took Creed Humphrey, dude. We took him at 23. We got him, and we've got Caleb Farley now. Let's go ahead and move on in this draft. We're going to reject this trade. It's not a good one. That is a weird trade offer. No, thank you. We're going to move right along here. We're at pick 66. We're going to look at the big board. A defensive tackle. Actually, guys, I'm actually getting a little bit tickled in my pickle here. Liam Eichenberg, offensive lineman here from Notre Dame. I think that's a good, solid. You could make the case for Michael Carter. I think Pete Werner, a linebacker, would be helpful. Jalen Mayfield available. Tyson Campbell, the cornerback. We just took a corner, so we probably won't take another one.
I'm okay with Mayfield.
I like a couple of offensive linemen here. Let's take a look. I don't think Freiermuth is available, actually. Yeah, he's not. Brevin Jordan is available. I'd be fine with taking him here, too. I feel like tight end is also another underrated position of need. Chris Herndon's on the last year of his deal. Tyler Croft signed a 1-year deal. Ryan Griffin might get cut. What the hell do we
Yeah,
have in the tight end room right now?
but if Mayfield and there was another name that I can't see on the screen right now, but if those two linemen go, the drop off severe, John. You know what I'm saying? Like I think you got to capitalize on where the drop offs are, and I do think you got to look at offensive linemen here.
I think that's fair. Freemuth is not available, so we have to let that one go. Brevin Jordan is available. Isaac Benjamin, I think you're approving that Farley pick, which I appreciate. Who Tryon? Where is he? I don't even see him. Oh wait a minute, hold on, go back. Oh yeah, the edge from Washington. Okay. Isaac is saying Liam would be a good pick here and would be a good fit at the guard spot. He's saying Williams. Milton Williams. You're not being serious. You want a defensive tackle? You're fucking around, right? San Fran, this draft has Freiermuth early, like in the 30s. Okay, that's silly, Willie. Gainwell would be pretty nice. I love Kenny Gainwell. I'd rather get him in that late 3rd round pick, but he might not be there. That's how Lando. I feel like Eichenberg here gives us future flexibility at the offensive line.
Michael Carter's there. You would take Gainwell over Carter?
No, I wouldn't. I would take Carter.
What are we even talking about?
Tight end, yes, but that could wait till the 22 draft. We have 2 number 1s. Mr. Incredible is my pick.
Why don't we start with position, and then we can focus on a name.
Kendrick Green, the offensive lineman from Illinois, is who Benjamin is talking about. We could probably get him a little later. Okay, gotta agree with Vega. Grab Eichenberg. We've got a couple of votes here for Eichenberg right now. Yep, C. Wally, he says they have a really good history with offensive linemen. No, Gainwell or Williams running back, bro. Yeah, Gainwell I'm cool with. I don't see which Williams running back you're talking about, though. Are you talking about Puka? That might be who you're talking about. He's a late round pick, though.
But John, did you hear me? Maybe we should focus on position and then focus on a name.
I don't think we need to. Most of the chat's agreeing with us that offensive linemen should go here.
Oh, okay.
Mark Orlando repeats. He says, I think Eichenberg is going to be an awesome guard that can kick out to tackle. I do think it's important that we get somebody that can play guard this year and then can maybe move to right tackle after we get rid of George Fant. George Fant. Am I saying that right? Is that his name? I think that is his name.
Yeah, I think you're right.
C. Wally says Eichenberg or Mayfield. Robbie Oak says Eichenberg. C. Wally says Williams is from UNC and he's long gone. Oh, okay, Javonte Williams. Yes. He is one of my favorite running backs in the draft class. He has balance. He's physical. He's got good speed. I love everything about Javonte Williams. I don't know if Joe Douglas will take him early, and I think he's going to go early. He says he's going to be the first running back drafted. I think that's a bold statement, but it's not completely insane. If you watch the tape of Javonte, he is violent and very, very good running back. All right, we're going to go with Eichenberg. It's a pretty unanimous pick here. Everybody's voting for him, so we're going to go ahead and take Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame. I think it's a good pick, guys. If he fell to 66, I think we'd be all jumping for joy.
No, heck yeah.
Too many future picks. I'm rejecting that. This is an interesting trade back. The Packers are offering 92 and 135 for 86 and 186. Michael Carter is still available. I don't think they could pass up Michael Carter at 86 overall.
It's a steal.
I feel like that's a pretty big steal, yeah. Let's take a look at the running backs. Oh, that's interesting as shit. Kenny Gainwell came off the board before Michael Carter. That's very interesting. Yeah, Vern says this is why I wouldn't take offensive line until round 3. There's still lots of good players, and I agree. We can definitely go. Joe Douglas may go that route. Let's see. Who is still there at running back? Carter, yeah, and Sean Bennett's saying Carter as well. I don't see any way, shape, or form that if a running back of this caliber is available in the late 3rd round, and again, that's coming from somebody that says we're not taking a running back. I said that in my prediction video. If somebody falls like this, though, how are you passing?
Take it.
I feel like you would have to. Yeah, everybody's voting for Carter right now. Mark Orlando is the only one. He's saying I would rather take Tyson Campbell. Is he available? He is available, but we did take Caleb Farley already.
Yeah.
And I do like the Georgia corners as well. Very good size to both of them. Good speed as well.
You're not getting a steal there like you are with Carter, though.
Yeah. Carter for offense, cornerback Campbell if you want defense. That's a fair comment. I mean,
Jason Rhodes, where are you at? This is your pick right here.
Yeah, that's true. We got 30 people watching right now, guys. Hit the like button for us, please. We would really appreciate it. We're having a fun time with you guys. We're probably going to end this one a little early at like 10 o'clock tonight because we do want to get our rest for tomorrow. It is an all-day affair tomorrow, guys. We're going to be online the entire 1st round. I'll be online with Chad in the 2nd and 3rd round. If you're going to watch the draft with some other streams, come by and just pop in and say hi to us during the NFL draft. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, we would really appreciate seeing you guys. Mark Orlando makes a good point. He says you can never really have enough DBs. Gitmo says you're going to need another corner when Farley gets hurt again. Robbie Oak says Tremble would have to be here if we want him. Brevin Jordan is still available too.
Ooh, that's interesting. I think we need Carter more than we need Brevin, though.
I disagree. I
You
actually
disagree?
I do. I think Carter's a good steal, but I think we need tight end more than a running back right now.
We have a functioning.
There's a lot of really good players on the board right now. We've got Jordan, who I think should be in consideration. We've got which cornerback from Georgia? Was it Campbell?
Yeah.
And then we also have Carter. So I'm going to say we pick between those 3 guys. Go ahead and put your vote in right now. You got a minute. Brevin Jordan, Tyson Campbell, or Michael Carter. I don't think Tremble would be taken here. I know a lot of people are all about him, but the problem is I feel like for a guy who's mostly known for being a good blocker, not necessarily a field stretcher tight end, which we could really use in this offense. I feel like Brevin Jordan would be the better pick at this point. Doesn't mean I wouldn't like him.
You at least got Chris Hurd in there, though. I mean, who do you got at running back right now? Coleman?
No, I like Ty Johnson. I like LaMichael Pirine. I like Coleman a little bit. It's a committee right now.
They're not even going to make the team.
They might make the team. I said to you, I think that Joe Douglas might not take a running back in this entire draft. It's very possible.
I understand. Acknowledged. But Michael Carter's sitting there. He's staring you right in the face.
Well, here's the good news. A lot of people are voting for him. We've got Vern for Carter.
I don't care about that. I want to convince you. What do I need to do to have you buy this car?
You don't have to convince me. I would be fine with the pick.
I don't think you're happy with it.
That's not true. I just said I would. I literally just said I would like the pick. I just have.
You hate the pick. You hate me.
You're so stupid. It's Carter. It's a landslide. Everybody's voting for Carter. We're going running back Michael Carter out of North Carolina. We're going to go ahead and recap the Jets draft so far. That's a silly trade offer. So far, guys, we've hit pretty nicely on some big needs. We've got our Zach Wilson quarterback, Creed Humphrey, Caleb Farley, again, if he checks out health-wise, he's going to be a steal. We got Liam Eichenberg from Notre Dame. Again, a great offensive lineman. So the offensive line, I think, has been addressed in this draft. We now have a weapon at the running back spot. Yeah, Pete Guerrero is another name that is buried on the depth chart right now on the roster. Again, Joe Douglas signed him, I think, right at the end of last year, so he could have his eyes on him. Herndon is a joke. Trade back and see who's left. We have 5 running backs. That's kind of why I didn't like the draft pick. We can get by with what we have this year, and it won't hurt Zach Wilson. A lot of people are saying take a running back because we want to support our quarterback, and I get that for sure. But of all of the positions on the field to support our quarterback, I think running back is honestly probably at the very bottom of that list. If we address the offensive line, we already know we have a great scheme for the running game. I just feel like we don't have to invest in running back early in this draft. So,
but we got a ton of wide receivers. We're not 100% content with them either. We're here talking about taking. We've at 3 different picks. We've talked about taking wide receiver.
This is why I made a video saying let's go heavy offense. I'm fine with neglecting the defense for a year, and I know that's not popular, but that's what I would consider doing.
But that's what we're talking about. I mean, I don't. Let me rephrase. Whether you go Brevin or whether you go Carter, I'm not unhappy with either pick. I think that was my point that I didn't really make clearly. But from my vantage point, Herndon is not in my club of favorites. But do I feel even though we have 5 backs, 4 backs, whatever it is, do I feel comfortable that they're going to contribute to the team? I don't know. I'm hesitant to think that we can make that work.
Herndon and Brevin, you mean?
No, I'm saying I'm not unhappy whether it's Brevin or whether it's Carter. I know Chad has voted already, but what I'm saying is I really don't like any of the backs that we have. I don't know. I mean, Herndon's not my favorite, but at least he shows signs of life, I guess. And with a new quarterback, you really don't know.
I don't agree with you. I agree with Sean Bennett here. I think Herndon is a good tight end 2 at best. He's shown that he doesn't have what it takes, I don't think, to be a reliable threat. And that's why I want to address tight end in the draft pretty early, because I want somebody that can give him competition and can really stretch the field. I do hear what you're saying, though. You're saying you can get by with Herndon for a year. Mm-hmm. I think that's where you run the risk of maybe doing some harm to Zach Wilson because he doesn't have a consistent tight end.
I guess it depends on the offense they're going to run, though, right?
We already know what kind of offense they're going to run. They need a tight end in that offense.
No, true. But, I mean, they're going to diversify the targets, though. And, I mean, because if that was a major priority, I'm trying to think what other tight ends. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think outside of Kyle Pitts, which tight ends go in between the 2nd and 3rd rounds. I'm trying to think. Is there any talent that drops? I think the tight end drop off is so severe, right? After the 1st round, after Kyle, like who's after Kyle in terms of talent at that point?
Pat Freiermuth is very good.
Oh, Freiermuth. That's right. Yeah.
Brevin Jordan's getting slept on. I think he's a really interesting prospect. He lined up as a receiver on the outside. He's a lot like Kyle Pitts in that regard. He can really run. And I think that's rare for tight end. And I think that's why I like him in this offensive scheme. All right, we won't argue anymore. We're going to move on. We have pick 107. And we don't need to take another running back. Let's see. Cameron McGrone, linebacker out of Michigan. Chaz Surratt out of North Carolina, linebacker. Tutu Atwell is available. There's not a lot of things I love here. Marquez Stevenson is available. That could be an interesting flyer in round 4. I'm okay with that. What are you guys thinking? What's available on the board here? Yep, Hunter Long as well. Isaac Benjamin brought up another tight end. Hunter Long from Boston College. Vern, it's definitely possible. We might not take a tight end. I think that's a risky one, though. If we don't take a tight end, I think that's a risk. Because, again, Herndon, if he's proven anything, he's proven that he's inconsistent. And that worries me because we do have a franchise quarterback coming into town, regardless of who it is. We need to support them. And I think tight end is more important to supply our quarterback with than a running back. Just my opinion. It's okay if you disagree with me. Vern, thank you for commenting. Moses, let's see. I don't think he's available still. No, not available. Wouldn't that be sweet, though? He would fit the defensive scheme so nicely. And the mentality that I think Robert Saleh really wants to include on this defense and on this team for that matter. Mark Orlando, you are speaking my language. Let's see. Mark Orlando says Amir Smith Marset or Cisco. I don't see those names. Let's take a look. Cisco. He is not available. That says Disco. Hold on. Cisco is not available. Amir Marset. I do not see him either. They are gone. What's there at linebacker? Cameron McGrone, Chaz Surratt, Tony Fields, Monty Rice. It's dried up pretty quick here. Monty Rice running to the podium again. Okay, Orlando is speaking highly of Monty Rice from Georgia. Yep, I am in linebacker. Oh, you're right. Big idiot here. My apologies. Cisco. My apologies. Andre Cisco, safety. I am cool with taking a safety. Andre Cisco. And then Marset. Sorry about my mistake there. Is a wide receiver, Amir Smith Marset. Wide receiver out of Iowa, excuse me. What do you guys think? This one's going to be tough, I feel like.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
Let's see. So he says, I like where Mike's going with judging what position groups are strong at what picks. Yes, that's a good idea. Let's go through each position then. So we did running back already. Wide receiver, Tutu Atwell is available. That could be a nice pick. Amir Smith Marset. Marquez Stevenson, again, I feel like is a good option. Offensive line, I feel like we've already hit really good. The linebackers available are pretty good. Hamilcar Rashed Jr. from Oregon State could be interesting here for an edge. I already read the linebackers. Cornerback, Trill Williams from Syracuse is available. And our Darius Washington out of TCU and Andre Cisco, both safeties are available. Tommy R. is saying Marset. Surratt is a sideline-to-sideline weak inside linebacker, isn't he? We do need that. Let's see, Miners. No, I think Miners is off the board. And we already addressed center. Excuse me, we addressed center earlier. I would be surprised if we took another center in the draft. Divine, I know you're all about him, Robbie. Excuse me. Yes, he is available. Divine out of Virginia Tech. Let's see, what players have you picked so far? Sam G, you are new to the channel, dude. Welcome. Appreciate you checking us out. Please consider subscribing. Check out the rest of our content too before you subscribe. We do have a lot of content on the channel. Let's see. Seth Williams, wide receiver, maybe a bit too early though. We still need a linebacker. I agree. That's probably our biggest need, that and wide receiver. What about cornerback Eric Stokes? He's gone. He's gone. He's been gone. I'm leaning towards a linebacker here. McGrone or Surratt. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's pick between a receiver and a linebacker. Let's do Tutu Atwell or Amir Smith Marset or one of these linebackers. We have not grabbed the tight end. We goofed that up when we took Michael Carter in the third round.
I knew it was coming.
Tight ends have dried out. There's not a good one available at this spot. Let's see. We've got a vote for Chaz Surratt. Diego says we can just go with a linebacker here. Isaac saying Tutu, definitely. Tutu posted a video on Twitter today. He weighed himself. He was 160 pounds. So I would say just big enough. McGrone is getting a vote. Tommy Tremble, I don't believe is available, dude. I think that would be a no-brainer if he were available at this spot, but he is not there. Tutu is too small. He is very tiny. Vern says Surratt. I am leaning towards Surratt, guys. That right now has the most votes. Surratt. I think Graham Roots. Surratt.
I'm good with Surratt, so I have no complaints with that.
I think that's where we're going to go here. Surratt. Chaz Surratt, linebacker from North Carolina. We do need a linebacker. I think that's an underrated need on defense. I think I might even say that linebacker might even be a bigger need than corner because I think the Jets are going to sign some players after the draft for that position. So I think we're going to be okay at corner. Just got to make sure that we get somebody after the draft. Okay. 5th round here. Jalen Darden.
There he is.
I feel like this is a slam dunk. Just my opinion. Again, you can disagree with me in the chat, guys. Yeah, that's how I feel, Isaac. I feel like Tutu could definitely play a slot role, just like Jalen Darden can. So Orlando says Surratt is okay. No worries. What are you guys thinking? Let's take a look at the board here. Jalen Darden is available. Jalen Moore is offensive lineman. He's available. Let's take a look at the... Oh, Divine Diablo is available. Robbie Oak. Everybody's voting for Darden now. I don't think they're going to win this vote here. Yeah, it's Darden. It's Darden in a landslide.
Good Lord.
Need too, though. Like, that's the thing. It's not just saying we like him. Like, it's actually filling a need.
Chat's in love.
We took him. There's no doubt. That's an interesting pick. That's another bunch of late round picks, but we're gonna move along here. We're not gonna do any trades. We've already made it this far without trading, so we'll just continue on. We do, James DiPietro. I agree and I understand that, but there are going to be some cuts that could be made after the draft. We may be cutting guys like Alex Lewis. We could be cutting guys like Ryan Griffin. There's a couple of other guys we could cut to free up some space. I do agree, though. We don't have a ton of money. Whoever we sign, it's not going to be terribly expensive. Probably in that like $5 to $7 million range. I know, Robbie Oak. Me and you, we've been watching him. And again, versatility. He can play special teams this year, not really needing to play a whole lot of snaps on offense. So, yeah, would be great. And we'd have that depth. We'd have depth, and we would have special teams, and we would be developing players on the bench. I think that's important. Diego says, I hope we cut Ryan Griffin. I don't think there's any doubt. As long as they find somebody in the draft, and they might even cut him, a undrafted agent. It's very possible. All right, guys, we are into round 5, pick 154. That's a good point, CJ. Or excuse me, C. Wally. I didn't even think about that. If we re-sign May, it could open up cap space.
Well, that's a good point. I got to give him credit. Give him a little sound effect.
I was just about to do that. You read my mind. Yeah, C. Wally, very good point. I don't know if they re-sign him, but if they did, give him a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, a little bit of money. He could definitely free up some cap space. Let's see. Mark Orlando is saying, let's go for Diablo or Eubanks. Diablo is the safety from Virginia Tech. He is available. I'm cool with taking a safety. We do need one, I think. And you're talking about... No worries, dude. We appreciate you. We appreciate anybody. I mean, we need these... We need our chat to always be throwing in comments like that. So.
But you still want Sherman at safety, don't you?
Who?
Richard Sherman?
No. Corner.
No, you said you want a safety. You were like Diablo.
I thought you just said Richard Sherman, didn't you?
I said, but you said if you picked up Sherman, you wouldn't put him at corner. You put him at safety.
I did not ever say that.
I think you did.
I think you're making shit up, but I'll be honest with you. I did not say that. Not a chance. Having said that, though, Sherman can play this year, can help our young cornerbacks on the team. We have a bunch now. Everybody seems to like the Divine one, safety from VT. We did add a safety in free agency, Diego, but Joyner is only on a one-year deal. He's a veteran. We don't know what we have in Ashton Davis. And again, just to bring back Marcus May up, we don't even know if he's in the long-term plans. Maybe the Jets let him go after the franchise tag this season. Thank you, Robbie Oak. You're a kind soul. Appreciate that. We're working on it, man. We're growing, and we're growing. That's all it is. It's a big grind over here. Mark Orlando is saying, let's go ahead and take Eubanks, the tight end from Michigan. And he is available. Let's go ahead and pick between those two then. Let's do between Diablo and Eubanks, the tight end. Eubanks or Diablo, whatever the hell. But with May and Joyner and Co, feels like less of a need. Yeah, and again, just keep in mind, Diego, we are in round 5 here. You can draft for need in round 5, but you're not going to count on these guys to be starters. No worries, Rafa. Thanks for coming in and saying hello. We like seeing you in the chat, dude. Welcome back. Diablo, please. We can get McKitty later. We got another vote for Diablo from Orlando. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Diablo here, guys. Divine. I don't see how he loses this. There were a lot of people chirping for him earlier. Javian Hawkins would be a bad pick because we already took a running back. We took Michael Carter in the 3rd round. Having said that, I didn't want him. I wanted Brevin.
There it is. There it is.
I wanted Brevin.
Chad, he couldn't resist. He had to put his little spin on it just to make sure he steps away from the pick.
I did
burning fire.
Not want him. All right, I'm leaning toward. I'm going to take Divine because I haven't seen a lot of people post. So Divine Diablo is a New York Jet, a safety, and we're going to roll with that. No, it's okay, James DiPietro. I was not saying you were making a bad pick. I'm just saying it would have been a bad pick if we took him because we had already taken Carter. I would have preferred Javian Hawkins myself. Let's see. We are now in the 6th round, pick 186. We got 2 more picks, guys. We can do this. This is the last mock draft that we'll do.
Make it count.
We've got a corner from Texas Tech. Trey McKitty. I feel like that's a no-brainer. We could get a tight end right now. Yeah, 2 picks left. We've got 2 6th-round picks in this draft. Let's go ahead and bang them out because I feel like we know what the picks are going to be. Trey McKitty. And then we're going to take Jose Borregales with that last pick. And then I'm going to blow you guys some kisses because it's draft day tomorrow. Rafa says Diablo has an incredible highlight reel. McKitty and Borregales, I feel like that's the way we need to go here. I really do hope Joe Douglas does take a kicker. I think it would be a mistake to not take a kicker in the 6th round this year. James DiPietro says, let's get McKitty. I feel like McKitty is going to be the unanimous choice here. We're going to go ahead and just speed this along here. Trey McKitty out of Georgia. Yep, Isaac Benjamin. And again, Isaac, thanks again for coming and hanging out with us tonight. It was your first night in the chat. Really appreciate having your voice in.
He called in. He called in too.
Yep. Yeah, we had 2 calls tonight. That was great. We really appreciate the phone calls, guys, live.
You know,
and just as a reminder, you guys, we do take, like, I will take your voicemails during the week. Like, the phone number has never changed. So if you ever want to leave us a voicemail, I will definitely put it on the show. Like, that'll be the first segment of every show is we'll do voicemails. Kind of like what Matt O'Leary does on his channel. He does his podcast and he has voicemails starting it out. I like that setup.
what we're basically saying is, someone please leave a voicemail.
No. I mean, we would like your voicemails, but we're good. We would like to have your voice on the channel. That's what it's about. We want you to be a voice, and that's what the voicemails idea is all about. All right, we're taking Jose Borregales. I'm not even going to take your votes. Executive decision.
That's because of the Michael Carter pick. He's pissed. He doesn't want us. He doesn't trust us anymore.
What are you guys doing tomorrow? We're streaming this draft, dude. We're streaming on the channel.
Check the channel playlist. You'll see it.
Yeah, we have scheduled the NFL draft. We will be live all weekend. Jose Borregales is going to be our last pick. We'll go ahead and review the New York Jets draft. So we took Zach Wilson, Creed Humphrey, Caleb Farley, Liam Eichenberg, Michael Carter, the running back, Chaz Surratt, linebacker, Jalen Darden, Divine Diablo, Trey McKitty, Jose Borregales. I like the draft a lot, actually. The only pick I don't like is, you know it, Mike, the running back. But even still, I don't like the pick. It's a great value, and he is definitely a good talent to have. Yeah, a lot of positivity. A lot of positivity from that mock draft. A lot of people seem to like it.
A rating from Orlando Vega.
Yeah. A plus. Good
Robbie
mock.
Hogue. A plus.
Yep. It's a good draft. It was definitely a good draft. We got weapons. We got protection for our quarterback. We addressed the defensive needs. We got special teamers. We've got Jalen Darden. We got Jose Borregales. I think that Diablo could play special teams as well. Do not undersell special teams. Special teams matters a great deal. Every week in the NFL, you see games lost by special teams. Orlando says LaFleur does need running backs, so it's a good pick. I disagree with you, but it's not a unfriendly disagreement. Gitmo does not like our draft. He says B- because of Farley and Carter. Agreed. I didn't like either of those picks. I would have swung for somebody else at the 34th pick, and I definitely would have gone for Tony at 34. And the Carter pick, I would have gone Brevin Jordan. Mark Orlando, don't be surprised if we trade up with the Giants or the Eagles tomorrow. Damn. Could you imagine if Joe Douglas makes a big, big push up the draft board? I would be shocked.
Question, who's he going after?
He would go after one of those offensive linemen, I think. Or a receiver. Wouldn't that be interesting?
It could be Devonta.
If he's going for a top flight wide receiver, he would go up into the top 12 for sure. I do not want Creed at 23 at all. Vern, I agree. That's a good point, too. I predicted that he will not be a New York Jet. I'm still sticking with that prediction. I don't see him ending up as a New York Jet tomorrow night or Friday.
It was between Creed and Cosme, right? That was the vote.
Yeah, I would have preferred Cosme or just trading back from that spot. AVT, if we're trading up, that would be sweet for AVT. I would take that. Good draft, B+. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. We'll go ahead and just wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking this. We have the most likes on any stream, 23. That's outstanding. Thank you so much.
You guys are beautiful.
We really had fun with you guys. And again, we will be live tomorrow night. So if you want to come hang out with us, 7 o'clock, we will be live.
A big shout out to Michelle, Mrs. Nostandria, for the Jello shots, the rum shots, the vodka shots. I'm going to have them all over my face. So we hope... Come just to watch that, right, John? Just come watch the entertainment there. And if you catch some of our mocks being right, that's just cherry on the top.
KSC 6104, dude, no worries. We're gonna be live tomorrow night. If you're just checking in with us and you're new here, please consider subscribing. You'll get notified when we go live. Appreciate you coming in at the last minute, though. Thanks again for coming in. We were just wrapping this up. I'm gonna give 2 more minutes. Any last-second predictions for tomorrow night? My prediction is Joe Douglas will trade either up or back from 23. Mike, prediction. Final prediction before the draft. Or I guess before the NFL draft tomorrow.
Jet related or just in general?
Jet related.
I think. I think I think we grab an offensive lineman at 23, and it's good. I think one of the talents that we like that we've been talking about falls to 23.
You think an offensive lineman will fall to 23?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about Creed, or I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about Creed or a name I can't think of right now. I'm talking about Darisaw. I'm talking about Tevin. I'm talking about one of those top talents will be there at 23.
Fair enough. That's a good prediction. Let's see. Jumping in after bowling, definitely tune in. We would appreciate it. KSC says, hoping that JD will trade 23 a few spots down to get an extra second or third round pick. That's what I'm hoping for. If all of the top offensive linemen are gone, I say trade back as well. I don't like the idea of taking. I don't like the. I gave him a layup to make the comment, but he didn't. I asked him earlier in the show. I said, "Who does Mac Jones remind you of?" And he didn't say Tom Brady. I was surprised.
I said Bledsoe. Isn't that crazy?
Robbie Oak says, "My prediction: the under and over for correctly predicted picks is 2." Seriously, it's going to be a wild draft. I feel like my mock draft, I'm going to wind up wanting to rip it in half by pick 15. Vern says that's a bold prediction, Mike, but it's not happening. He is not as optimistic.
We will see.
Ben Isaac's prediction, he says Joe D will grab 2 offensive linemen back-to-back at 23 and 34. I disagree with you. Again, respectful disagree. I think he will spread the wealth. I think he's going to take one early and one in the mid-rounds. But I do appreciate your prediction for sure. No worries. A lot of people want that to happen, so you're definitely not the only one out there in Jets fan land. All right. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you again so much for watching NYJ today.
Love you guys.
Thanks again. Go Jets. We will see you live for the NFL draft tomorrow night. Go Jets. Go Jets. See you guys next time, and a word from my daughter.